and welcome to another SH Figuarts review. Today we're taking a look at Kamen Rider Genm Level 1 Billion or God Maximum Gamer, whatever. This is a form that you saw in one of the extra movies, side stories that you got that happens after the end of the main series. So if you've seen any of those movies, you will have seen this form. And this is just a recolor of the X8 one. It's just that. But I think this color looks cooler than the X8 one, actually makes it look kind of nice. In terms of size comparison, you can sort of see Gem's original head there. That's the same as the regular Gem figure. And if you put Kronos next to him, you can see roughly how tall this is. Just a little bit taller, but it's super, like, way more bulky. And that, that makes sense. Like, because his legs and arms still need to fit in there. He's still controlling it like a regular suit. And so it's not going to be as big as like a Hulkbuster or something like that. And I think Hulk himself is roughly the same size. I can't compare that yet, but I have pre-ordered the Infinity War Figuarts Hulk, so I'll have that eventually. Anyway, so let's zoom in and start from the top. And so, like I said, this is just the regular head as X8 and stuff. As I put more light there, you can see that's got the same linings and everything on it. So that's cool, it's soft horns there. These pieces are hard though, so do be careful. Kind of pointy and sharp. Kind of hurts. So nothing too special about the head, but he moves so many places and it does look quite safe in there. And then reminds me of the Lex Luthor arm actually, except if you throw a ball at him, it won't hit him in the nose because he still has a helmet. Front face there is just the eyes printed there, but it's a very flat print. Not a too fan of this. It would have been way more awesome if the suit design actually had this as more of a compound eye effect. That would have been so awesome, but it's not. It's flat. It looks alright, but just close up, not too special. The yellow dot there is also not too special either. The white around here is very plasticky, but it fits what it looks like in the show, so that's fine. The belt here is just general, same belt as always. Looks fine, stickers fine, painted is okay as well. Just look at the back there, just for some extra details. Nothing too special there. The arms, the purple on these arms are really, really good. And that's what makes this figure stand out, because these metallic purple that they've done looks really awesome, all the way down to the legs. Everything looks pretty awesome. I will say this, these things are a bit loose and jiggle all over the place when you pick up this on the figure. You hear that? There's a lot of stuff that moves around on this figure, which is fine because it means that the articulation is not hindered. So overall, this thing is produced quite nicely. It looks good. Like first of all, the design is alright. The figure itself matches the design in the movie quite well. I think it's slightly less bulky than what it is in the show, but that's because they had to get around doing movement stuff. But with a figure, they're more free, so I think it's a little bit leaner than what it is in the show. And the paint job and quality control is excellent on this figure. I've seen no one complain online about this, and the one that I have here is pretty good as well. In terms of accessories, he also has the fists that are already attached to him. He also swapped the hands for two relaxed hands as well as a pair of item holding hands. As for the item here, we got this weapon here, which if you have the Mighty Double Brother X, whatever that one's called, the orange and blue ones, then you already have this weapon already, so just repeat, but it is done quite nicely and it works. And I guess the reason why they gave us this is because the Gasha can fit into the slot, and it does use this weapon in the movie. And I just think he uses because he's got his double Gasha has a slot there that he can use. So whatever, it doesn't have any other function or gimmick, it's just a single solid piece that's printed or painted quite nicely. So if you want it to, I think, handle moves, I can't remember too much, but you don't have any of those gimmicks with this. That I'm not happy with that's not in this is that in this thing I think it really should have given us an extra piece with the head popped up, so we can have Gem exit the armor, because I've seen people already pose a photo of this and just remove the head from this body and pretend and pose it with the Gem Figuarts to pretend that he's out of the armor, but we can't really do that here without it being not accurate, because this Gasha is missing that little headpiece on there, which but you're gonna have to Photoshop it on, but that's still pretty annoying that it's not there. Despite being a mech suit and somewhat bulky, but not as bulky as it is in the show, this figure is actually really articulated. It's really good. So first of all, this head, you see all this space in there, actually gives it a lot of movement. So he's got a lot of motion. And he can't tilt his head back too much, but you can still look around a lot and rotate his head fully. So that's really, really awesome. Let's move down to the torso here. He still has those double ball joints in there down to the hip, so with that he can bend really easily around a lot. So that's really cool as well. For the hands, for certain poses, you can pull the arm out, so it's actually like a little mechanism there. That's cool. See that? Inside, outside, inside, outside. So that's cool. It gives you a lot more movement options. And the joint, they got this ball here that really hides it. So that's pretty cool. So you move his arm up. Of course, you can't full rotation as this arm is in the way. That's fine. And I got the upper arm rotation. I think it's a single elbow, but it's done in a really weird way. I don't like this too much. This really cuts it up a bit too much. That looks really weird. But it's there, and the movement is still really good. And hand, it's the hand itself is pegged into this bit, so it has a little bit of a jiggle, but it's not meant to be a movement part. What movement is this whole purple and silk piece is on the ball joint. It's really smooth. Like imagine if you have a smooth piece of like slightly matte plastic, just moving your hand on top of that. It feels so good to articulate this, and it's not loose. It just moves really well. Okay, leg. This joint is not so good. And out of all the joints, this is probably the worst one, but it doesn't really move up or down. So you rotate it here somewhat, and legs up somewhat. So that's fine, I guess. And see, knee, this rotation here. Double knee joint, which is still hidden relatively well. It's like, look there, there's a big hole there. And feet is on a ball peg. Got lots of swivel there. And like I said, this piece is loose earlier on, so it gets out the way of what movements that you need. So you can give him a rider kick. You can still pose him just dynamically. Like, let's look at that. That's just good posing. In conclusion, the figure on its own, it's a nicely produced figure. Quality control is great, articulation is great, it looks good, the colors are nice. Accessory, apart from that one thing that's missing, it gets the job done. It is pretty cool. Nice figure. That said, it is a premium Bandai item as well as being expensive because it's big. And here's the thing, this is not a main form, this is just a form you see in a pretty much a bonus movie you get after the end of the show. So it's not essential, I can't recommend it as that. If anything, if you like this armor for just standard collectors, you probably should go for the X8 one, but I don't think that one looks good at all. So if you really like Genm, this is a nice figure to pick up because it's a fun figure to play around with, it looks good. But I don't think it's essential at all. So if you're on a budget, as nice as this figure is, you're probably better off skipping it. Subscribe, suggest, and comment below. And of course, take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Well, see you next game. As always, if you found this video useful, please consider clicking the like button, subscribe button if you haven't done so already, and of course leave a comment below how you feel about this figure or any of the other X8 stuff. Can't wait for when the Figuarts for Puppy comes out. That'd be great. That'd be so much fun to play around with. And well, that's it really. So share this video with other people, and also consider checking out the other Figuarts reviews on this channel, as well as supporting this channel via Patreon. If you don't want to do that, turn the ad block off. I appreciate that so much. As always, take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.